Well, hi again, everybody, and welcome to another episode of 100 Yards of Football. I'm Harper LaBelle. I'm joined by Trey Sims today. Our producer and engineer is Logan Landers. Trey, today we're going to talk about a young man who played at Memphis, and Vincent's not with us right now, so we're going to talk about Memphis without Vincent. That's never been done before, but Caden Prieskorn, tell us a little bit about the young man.
Well, like you say, he came from Memphis, so I love it because I'm from Memphis, just like Vincent. And then he went to Ole Miss, which I don't love as much, but we'll talk a little bit more about him.
Yep, we'll get a chance to talk about this young tight end who has all kinds of potential after we do a quick little spot that we're going to do for mybookie.ag. If you're interested in placing a bet, and with the Final Four and all four of the number one seeds are playing this weekend coming up, if you'd like to place a bet on Major League Baseball, NHL hockey, NBA basketball, if you'd like to place a traditional bet, which would be on a casino type game, or if you are into the horses, whatever it is, go to mybookie.ag. You log in, you open an account, you fund it, and then very simply, you could start placing bets as soon as that. They've got all the odds and everything that you would need to know to place a bet with as much information as is humanly possible to have before you actually click on it and make that finalization. So we're interested in helping them. And to do so, we're going to ask that you go to a promotional code, which is MM50, MM50. You can get free chips. You can get basic information. You can also, a lot of benefits that you would have with doing that. It's mybookie.ag. Well, Trey, we're going to talk about a tight end who's 6'6", about 265 pounds. And you would think, hey, he's baby Gronk. Went to Memphis, played 3 years there, and ends up at Ole Miss. You mentioned that you do have a problem with the Ole Miss aspect of it, but you didn't mind when he was playing for the Tigers. Tell us a little bit about Caden Prieskorn, the big man out of Memphis.
You said 6'6", 265 is great size for a tight end. Has receiving ability, has blocking ability, can do both. Not super dynamic, like not super fast, not as real athletic, but strong, knows his assignment, very smart. Is going to be very reliable, as most young quarterbacks and veteran quarterbacks say. They love to go to their tight ends, their safety blankets. 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7. Find the tight end over the middle, find the tight end in the slot because he can play the slot. He's very versatile as far as you can line up in different spots. And he was productive because he's caught 14 touchdown passes over his career at both Memphis and Ole Miss. So I love Caden. I wish he didn't go to Ole Miss. I'm gonna throw it out there one more time.
Well, one of the things that he impressed me with is in terms of learning about his versatility. He was a quarterback in high school. So I think he learned to run routes, knowing from a quarterback standpoint where a receiver needs to be when a quarterback is ready to throw the ball. He's got good hands. You see the picture there. I don't know if I like Ole Miss's baby blue uniforms, but I get the throwback aspect of it. But I'll tell you one thing: he knows how to get open. He's a 4'7" guy. That, to me, at that size, is why I kind of teased with that baby Gronk, because that was Rob Gronkowski's big ability, is to be able to get down the middle of the field and put pressure on a safety or an outside linebacker with the speed. Yes, his catching radius and everything like that really made him a Pro Bowl and a future Hall of Famer. But basic things like that. If Caden's able to get down the middle of the field, and he can, that to me is one of those things that you can't have enough of that, especially on an NFL roster.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to be one of those tight ends. There's always one tight end that no one really talks about or no one really thinks about during the draft, and he'll get drafted somewhere in the 3rd or 4th round. And then, like, in a couple of years, he'll be like one of the best tight ends in the league, or at least one that people respect, like a Dallas Goedert type, or even George Kittle. For me personally, I didn't know what George Kittle was coming out of college because he went to Iowa, and then obviously he became one of the best tight ends in the NFL. So I feel like Caden could be one of those type tight ends that you're not gonna think about him when you're thinking about the big name tight ends that are coming into the draft.
Well, he had 7 touchdowns his last year, 48 receptions at Memphis. Then he transfers to Ole Miss. And one of the things that you have to be able to do at the tight end position at an SEC level is you got to learn how to block. And I think he did. He passed with flying colors there. He has a big catching radius because he's so tall. That gives quarterbacks the ability to miss a little bit and still get a completion out of it. You know, you may not hit exactly where your spot needs to be. Some guys have a small radius where you got to hit them right in the chest. Not so much with Caden. You know, he got to play at the SEC level for a couple of years. That's another advantage. And another thing is that because of his height, his weight, and his athleticism, he's already done a lot of special teams work, especially at the SEC level. And I think that'll carry over as to another reason why someone would want to bring him into camp. Talk a little bit about some of the pluses versus the minuses that he has.
Like you said, everything. I agree with everything you said. And even the special team, because I know a lot of head coaches, a lot of organizations look at players, especially maybe a later round draft pick, to play special teams first. And being willing to play special teams will get you on a lot of NFL rosters.
Yep.
Like, I know one thing about him is that he needs to continue to work on his route running, because sometimes he won't get the separation that he needs, or he try to use his size too much even though like it is an advantage to him, but he might not make a person move or be able to get them to create space to make it easier throw for your quarterback. Even though he is big and strong, and the NFL is a different level, so he will have to continue to get stronger. But as far as I'm concerned, you know, there's not too many things I'm going to talk bad about Caden. So,
well, yeah, this isn't like we're tearing him down, but you know, does he need to work on separation? Yeah, sure. Every tight end does. There isn't anyone that runs perfect routes. He does need to work on some of those things. Obviously, getting stronger, sustaining blocks a little bit longer. Those are some of the weaknesses that people say, well, he needs to improve on that in order for him to be a higher draft pick. There's some guys in front of him. I think he's in the line, though. That's the thing about him, is that you got to respect his speed down the middle at 4.7. Some guys will never run a 4.7. I don't know what that's like. I couldn't do it. So that's certainly one of the things that he has in his favor. He's new to the position, which can be a plus or a minus, is that, well, he doesn't have the experience yet. Well, he'll get that experience, especially during training camp. And obviously, once he makes somebody's roster, he'll get the experience and he'll be even better. But the upside for him, again, a guy that's not the number one tight end that's on everybody's roster, but if you're looking for a guy in the 4th, 5th round, 6th round, he's hoping he's gone by then. Is that where we can expect to have him picked?
Yeah, that's something. 4th. Yeah, that's a good 4th, 5th, maybe. As a hope, he might trickle in there late 3rd, but like probably 4th, 5th, 6th.
Yeah.
I'm sure, you know, he probably, you know, anybody be glad to get drafted. So like he'll be happy wherever he goes, and it just make you want to work harder.
Well, having a guy like Dart being your quarterback and Lane Kiffin being your coach, and the offensive mind and the creativity there, for him to be able to take advantage of that the way that he did, I think it's just a plus and another plus that will certainly help him, hopefully, on draft day, whether it's day 2 or 3. Where he's not projected as a first rounder, so let's just assume that it's a day 2 or day 3 pick. Final thoughts here on Caden.
Memphis boy was that's all I got to say is Memphis boy. But like, if you want me to keep going, he got all the ability, all the tools to be a really great, solid tight end in this league. Hope he gets sent somewhere to where he has a reliable quarterback that will, you know, because he's going to be reliable. He's going to have sure hands. And so, again, I'm really happy for Caden Hill, but hope he gets to a good spot.
Well, he's 6'6". He's listed at 255 when the season started. We know he's a little bit bigger than that right now, from Lake Orion, Michigan, which basically, you know, he's not a Memphis boy, but that's where he made his hay, right? He learned how to play the position there. Even though he was quarterback being recruited, they moved him. They found another slot for him, and really had a chance to change his trajectory, being a Tiger there at Memphis. Obviously, he transfers and he goes to Ole Miss, and great things hopefully in the future for him. So for Caden Prieskorn, the tight end out of Ole Miss, we wish him well. We know that he is a guy that you're going to probably be very glad that he's on your roster. by the end of the draft this year. So for Trey Sims and Logan Landers, our producer and engineer, I'm Harper LaBelle saying thank you for tuning in to the 100 Yards of Football. This has been our Draft Prospect Show. We hope you have a fantastic day, everybody.